Universal is doing something that we have not seen done before in terms of the magnitude. Universal is doing what Six Flags did in the late 90s and early 2000s, but at a much grander scale. So does this make Universal the best theme park chain in the world? And why I think we'll see even more parks get announced over the years, and wrapping up with, can Universal keep this momentum up and still remain a profitable theme park company? Welcome to Theme Park Predictions. My name is Brandon, and what a week for Universal, because all things are pointing to them building a new Universal Studios style park in the UK, just north of London, about an hour north, I believe, of London. That's just insane, because there's already rumors going around that I reported on about a month ago regarding the whole Universal Park coming to Spain and potentially becoming PortAventura, where Universal would purchase PortAventura and rebrand it as Universal Studios Spain, or a different name for it. So that's very, very exciting, because earlier this year, Universal announced a brand new theme park coming to Frisco, Texas. Now, this Universal park is not going to be on the same scale as the one in the UK or Spain or even the ones in Florida. This will be more of a family style park and not really that large, around less than 100 acres. So there's definitely not going to be a ton of rides or major thrill rides. But nonetheless, a new park is a new park. And this news that we just found out is really, it's shocking to say the least, because there's over 500 acres that Universal confirmed that they purchased in the UK. So for all of my UK fans out there, I'm so excited for you guys, and this park will get built, I predict, before 2030. I'm going to guess around 2028, 2029 at the latest. And it looks great, because there's already been some concept artwork, as you can see here, that was released. And what we can really tell, now mind you, take this with a grain of salt, because things could definitely change, but it looks as if there's a clone of the Hulk, the B&M sit-down 7 inversion coaster, as well as a clone of the potential name for Starfall Racers at Epic Universe, the brand new mock dueling coaster that's opening up in Florida in 2025, maybe late 2024, which is crazy to think, because the UK could potentially be getting yet another top 10 worthy coaster from Mock Rides by the end of the decade. Now let that sink in. Again, that's wild. But really, when Six Flags did this in the late 90s and the early 2000s, they really didn't do it with brand new theme parks. They acquired a lot of parks, and then they dumped a ton of money and major coasters into them, which resulted in the Six Flags company obviously going bankrupt, and basically nothing really good came from it in terms of the return on investment and the financial aspect. But the parks got some really awesome roller coasters and thrill rides that really shaped the parks where they are today. So I think everyone's thankful for that. But will this affect Universal? That's the big question. I mean, Universal, in my opinion, they are now in the same category as far as like theme park chains as Six Flags, Cedar Fair, the SeaWorld parks, because they're adding more and more parks. It's not just a destination park now, in my opinion, of course, because the company is just expanding their portfolio and adding more and more thrill rides to the parks. And for me, that's a great thing, and I really think their business model is the best in the business, and every theme park chain out there should take something away from what Universal does and implement it in their parks. Now, I'm not saying that Six Flags needs to start charging $90 to get in or $150 to get in, but wouldn't it be nice with every Six Flags park, for all their major coasters, having a single rider line or maybe a new dark ride of some kind? You know, there's a lot of cool different things that each park can do that Universal, in my opinion, does best. Because when you look at the full scale of things for Universal, particularly, the employees are happy, they get paid very good money, the parks are ran top notch, you don't really ever find a ride broken down for too long, the parks aren't reducing the hours and everything else. Now, obviously, I get it, they're in Florida, so the hours aspect, I see that, but I just feel like if Universal, the way they run their parks at other chains, like let's say if Cedar Fair, Six Flags, etc., then Valley Fair, Michigan's Adventure, Six Flags Great Adventure, Magic Mountain would all be ran differently and for the better in some aspects. And with coasters like Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, and the all-new Fast and Furious coaster coming to Hollywood in 2025, I mean, they really, to me, Universal is skyrocketed up, at least Islands of Adventure, up my theme park rankings for one of my favorite parks. I'm more of an amusement park style person. Like, I prefer roller coasters over dark rides. But now that Islands of Adventure has Hagrid's and Velocicoaster, it really has climbed up to my top 10 park rankings. And I expect Epic Universe to be in there as well. So I really like the direction that Universal's going here, where they're mixing more coasters, more dark rides. They're just a really perfect blend. And for that, to me, they are now the best theme park chain when it comes to employee aspect, the ride selection, the experience, as well as just the appearance of the parks. You really can't beat it. And that is why I don't think Universal's nervous at all, because they are really pumping a ton of money into Epic Universe, as well as Universal Studios. And I just created this video right here where I share my 5 predictions for how Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure will look like over the next 5 years. So you definitely want to check out that video, because I really think you're going to like what you see there. And with the rumors of Universal acquiring a park or opening up a park in Spain, and now it's pretty much confirmed about the park opening up just north of London, these aren't just small parks. These are major, major parks. And I personally do not think Universal's even nervous at all, which means I predict that Universal will continue to expand at this rate at least through the end of the decade. Now, I don't think we'll see any new park get built as far as opening before the end of the decade, besides the UK park and whatever they're planning in Spain. But I definitely feel like over the next 4 or 5 years, we will see Universal announce 1 or 2 new parks or resorts opening around the world. Now, as for where that could be at, who knows? I mean, Frisco, Texas, I never would have guessed that, but here we are. So there's a lot of cool things that Universal could do. I personally would really like to see them open up a small theme park in Vegas. I know they're doing the Halloween Horror Nights attraction there, but something like that I think would really attract people to Vegas. Vegas has gotten much more family friendly over the years with adding all the sports teams and the other attractions. You know, I'm just saying it's a possibility, and obviously other regions around the world could open up a new park as well. So I'm very, very pleased and excited for Universal's future. That's why I really feel like Universal is having the takeover of the world when it comes to the theme park aspect. And that, again, that is great news for everyone involved. But the big question is, can Universal keep this up? And I really feel like they can, because the product, it gets delivered when people go to the park. You know, when you go to Universal, it's going to cost some money. We all know that. However, when you leave the park, most people are satisfied. Most people go back to the park, the next year or the year after. So as long as they can implement the same type of business model and maintain the guest satisfaction at all their parks, new and old in the future, then I don't see how this could actually be a bad thing, and Universal could slow down and this could backfire. Again, as long as people are excited about going, and then they are there, they love it, they want to go back, that's the whole purpose of a theme park. I mean, after all, when you leave your local theme park, you're going to see banners or announcements, hey, for X amount of dollars, you can upgrade a day's admission ticket to a season pass. So again, the whole process of being in a theme park is all about upsell, 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 but making sure at the same time the park visitors having a wonderful experience. So they'll be like, yeah, I want to buy that add-on. I want to extend my trip another day, or buy another season pass. I honestly cannot even wrap my head around this whole entire thing, because Universal has always been known for, more dark rides and screen-based attractions. And when I worked there and lived in Florida, the best ride they had was, I think, Dueling Dragons. That was my personal favorite. And now they have all these really cool coasters at all sorts of parks. And I love it. I'm very, very pleased with Universal. And if I was Disney, I would be definitely concerned with Universal's growth and the amount of new rides they're adding all across the world, when it seems like Disney takes around 2 years to build a new trash can. With that being said, how many of the tallest coasters here in America have you been on? In this video here, I list out the top 10 tallest coasters in America and which parks could potentially beat the record. What are your thoughts about Universal's future? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.